Hey, this is Healed Mind Therapy, lesson number 2. What do I deserve? So, in lesson 1, we talked about what you're responsible for. So, your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And when you start seeing that you're being triggered, especially when those emotions are like out of control, when you're able to see it, there's an instinct right away to want to attack yourself, to feel guilt, shame, and self attack. Be like, oh, I should be different. I shouldn't be like this. I'm not enough. Why am I so bad? Why am I so wrong? Why am I so screwed up? And these attack thoughts actually lead to more of the same emotions of sadness, anger, or anxiety, and then more of the same behaviors of self harming behaviors or harm towards others. And it doesn't make it better. So, here's the solution. The solution for when you get triggered is to give yourself love, compassion, gentle correction. So, if you punch me in the face, that's not okay. Okay. If you cheat, that's not okay. If you lie, it's not okay, but it is your best. And that's the core of the truth there. You must be really hurting to behave like that. So, another concept we're going to be looking at is the fact that people are hurting and they don't know what to do, including you. And what do you deserve when you're hurting and you don't know what to do? The answer right here. You deserve love, compassion, and gentle correction. So, love is to say, you know what? You're still lovable. You're always enough, no matter what. And even though you've punched me in the face, you're still lovable. You must be really hurting to behave like that. Compassion is the shift from attacking to being able to say, there's reasons why you're behaving like that. It doesn't make the behavior okay, but rather it's saying that based on your social conditioning, your trauma, your level of healing, your experiences, all of these things, your education, your intellect, all these things have led to a place why this is your best right now. And you really don't deserve attack. And when we can see that, that's what's going to allow us to have more compassion for other people. So it's not okay if someone else punches you in the face. It's not okay if they lie or cheat on you. But if they did that, that's not about you. That's about what's not healed in them. And one of the ways that you can kind of rectify this concept of compassion for others is the idea that if you had the same thoughts, if you had the same trauma, if you had the same experiences, same upbringing, same education, and similar personality traits innately, you would behave exactly the way that they did in that situation. And that's like the truth of the reality of people's trauma. Because we're all innately equal, and this is another key concept of a healed mind. Any difference we have in our ability to function and be loved in the world is really about what's not healed in us and this hurt inner child that's not yet healed. So we actually want to have compassion. Okay, you cheated on me. That's evidence of what's not healed in you. Wow, you must be really hurting to do that. There must have been a lot of fear and struggle with authenticity and self love for you to behave that way. But it's not about me. Right. So that's why when we, our lesson 1, we talked about what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for. You're not responsible for other people's behaviors. And releasing that is part of it. But what do you deserve and what do they deserve when they're struggling? So, love, you are always enough. Compassion, it makes perfect sense that you're struggling the way you do based on the experiences that you've had. And this is one of the reasons why we looked at childhood, why we will look at childhood conditioning, what kind of things you were taught, what kind of codependent beliefs were you conditioned to have, how were you abused, how were you spoken to? And then the gentle corrections towards the truth. So what is the truth? The truth is that you are lovable, you are worthy, you are enough always. You are always doing your best. And your best will get better with love and compassion and gentle correction. And gentle correction is also where we will do boundaries. So it might sound like, you know, I love you and I understand eating that whole pizza might feel like it'd feel really good in that moment, but passion. But this is actually a pattern you learned from your childhood. When you were crying, your parents would give you food to comfort you, to make you feel better. But in this moment, your hurtness is causing you to want to self-harm with food. So you deserve compassion. And then the correction or the boundary is I'm not going to allow you to hurt yourself with food. So setting that boundary and saying, as an act of love to you, we're going to have 2 pieces instead of the whole thing. And then same thing for other people. So if somebody attacks you, speaks down to you, or does something that's less than loving, really be able to shift to love and compassion. Wow, they must be really hurting to behave like that. That has nothing to do with me. And then to be able to correct them. So when we calm the emotions first, And this is why we're going to learn about the breath. When we take that deep breath, right, we shift perception, then we can calm the emotions. That's what's going to allow us to respond instead of react. And we're going to be responding with love and compassion and gentle correction. So if you punch me in the face, my response to you is, when I've done my own work, is, wow, you must be really hurting to behave like that way. Can I help? What can I do that will be helpful in this situation? Sometimes it's going to be boundaries. Somebody asks you for money and in the past they haven't paid you back, and it's caused resentment and hurt in the relationship. So instead of getting mad because they're asking, being like, okay, it makes sense that this is your best right now, and you're still lovable. However, it is not loving for me to give you money right now. It would not be an act of love for me to give you that money because it would hurt you, causing guilt. It would hurt me because it's not something I really want to do. And it'll cause resentment in our relationship and a deterioration of a relationship. So as an act of love too, as both, I'm going to say no in this situation. So this is why a key component of a healed mind is healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries are saying that I love you so much, I'm not going to allow you to treat yourself in a way that if you were in a healed place, you wouldn't be capable or want to do. And this applies to both self and others. So what do I deserve is also what other people deserve. Because there's mirrors in psychology. As you see yourself, you will see others. As you see others, you will see yourself. We cannot attack others and be loving to ourselves. We cannot be loving to ourselves and not be loving to others. So as we develop self-compassion, this is what's going to give us capacity to have compassion for others. So stop attacking yourself for what was your best. If you got triggered, okay, yes, take responsibility. There's something for you to heal, but you never deserve attack. Just love, compassion, and gentle correction or boundaries.